What's up everyone, this is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review we're looking at the SH Figuart Dragon Ball Z FRIEZA figure, the final form of FRIEZA. Super awesome figure. They never let us down with the Dragon Ball Z figures, and this figure is no exception. He's in scale, he stands only 4.5 inches tall, so he's really tiny, but that is how he's supposed to look. And he comes with a ton of accessories, and he's just full of awesomeness. Oh, I forgot to take this out, so let's take this piece of plastic out right there, and that'll help us look at the figure a little bit better. Before we look at the accessories, let's just look at the paint. The body is almost all white, so there's a little bit of grayish blue shading throughout just to enhance the musculature, enhance the sculpt. And then we have the purple, which is a super sweet looking pearlescent purple. It's dark to light shading, metallic, just so nice looking. It looks really good throughout the figure. Now let's look at the accessories. We have just the standard head right there. Then we have the wounded head, or the in pain head, grimacing head, whatever you want to call it. Looks great. The paintwork on the face is awesome. Then we have the yelling angry one with some veins popping out on the sides, open mouth. Again, the paintwork and sculpt work just phenomenal. Really impressive on this guy. He comes with the set of folded arms, just like Piccolo and Vegeta and Cell. So you just pop his arms off at the shoulder, or under the shoulder, and pop this on, and he can fold his arms. So that's really cool. Then we have a bunch of different hands and feet. For feet, we have the standard flat feet, which are just for, regular posing. Then we have some semi-flat feet with pegs in them. And those just swap in and out, standard SH Figuarts style. But these feet are used for the display base, to make him nice and sturdy. The base has the feet sculpted in, and then they also peg in, so it really turns into like a seamless display, almost like a statue. Just looks really good once you put him on there. It might be solid. If it's not solid, it's almost solid because it's kind of heavy. Sculpt work's good. There's a little bit of shading in the paintwork, but not too much. But either way, it's a nice little display piece. Definitely heavy enough to hold him up. And for the feet, then we also have the flying feet, which are just kind of curled down a little bit. So that's a nice little, which way do they go? Like that. So those are nice as well. And then we have a bunch of different hands, as you can see here. We have the fist hands already on him. Then we have two open palm hands. They're all sculpted really well, and they have the fingernails painted, and they look really cool. Then we have a hand for each of the energy accessories, one for the death beam and one for the death ball. So those are cool. And we have two relaxed hands as well, where he's just kind of got his hands not really doing anything. But the sculpt is good, individual fingers, everything's nice about that. And then we come to the tail, which is articulated on a ball hinge, a big version of what we get in the wrists and the neck. So it swivels inside the tail itself, it'll swivel at the body, and it has the ball hinge. Looks pretty good once it's on him. It's fairly seamless, so that's okay by me. This one is just sculpted to be a curled tail, nothing special there. Then we have the other one, which is a little bit longer, and that is sculpted to wrap around a figure's neck, like Goku, for example, or Krillin, or somebody else you want him to be fighting. So that can come around like that and hold onto their neck, which is really awesome. It's also articulated here so it can swivel in addition to the one down here. And you can pop it apart to imitate the scene where he gets his tail cut in half. So all in all, you really have anything you want with this figure. And then lastly, we have the energy accessories. We have the death beam, which is pretty horrible, I think. It's really odd that they did this, but it doesn't look good at all. So this part goes by his finger. And then we have the beam here, and it's just clear plastic with white, and the white doesn't blend into the pink, and the clear doesn't look good. And it has a peg here to connect it to the base, which it comes with another standard Tamashii Nations base. Nothing special there. It looks like all the other ones we've seen. So the base can either hold up FRIEZA himself or this accessory, but it just looks really ugly, so I can't see too many people using it. And then we have the other accessory, which is a little bit better, and this is the death ball. Just the ball right here, translucent pink, really nice sculpt work on that, and it pegs on via an old school ball joint to this little clear piece, which clips onto his wrist. I'll just show you. So you put that on his wrist, and then you put the hand on, You could probably clip it on without actually removing the hand, but I had to anyway. So then you have the death ball, which I think it would have been better if they figured out a way to just connect it to the finger, because this thing around the wrist and the extra thing right there, it just detracts a little bit of the coolness from it. But either way, you do have it, and it can be used effectively, so I'm not really complaining too much. It's just something to point out. Okay, so that's all of the accessories. Let's talk articulation. The head itself is on a ball hinge. Slightly different design than we've seen before. It has an actual ball peg at the top rather than just a little tiny peg. So it pegs into the neck, swivels around, and has the hinge, and the head pegs onto that. The neck has a ball peg, double ball peg to let it move around. Though it's fairly limited, you can still move it a little bit. The shoulders have this floating ball hinge inside there, kind of like an old school ball hinge, connected to, or ball peg, I'm sorry, connected to a ball hinge in the shoulder, which is connected to a swivel, a bicep swivel, double jointed elbows, pretty good range of motion there. And then the wrist is the same type of joint as the neck. It's a ball hinge that swivels at the forearm and in the hand. So anything you need to do, you can. The upper torso is on a double ball peg, so it's a little bit limited though due to the sculpt, but it does have a decent range of motion. And then this purple part of his body is also articulated. I'm not sure how it's actually connected. I haven't popped it off to check, but that just allows for the diaphragm joint to have a little bit better range of motion. And it just makes him look a little more seamless. If you bend him all the way back, you can fold that down and it doesn't look too gappy. And then his lower abdomen is connected by a single ball peg, which connects to the groin. And then he has the hinged ball peg hips, so you can drop the hips down using the hinge, and that gives you better range of motion for the ball peg, which is inside there. So you have the ball peg, and then you have that other socket that the thigh can swivel around just a little bit, gives you a little extra range of motion. Double jointed knees with an actual kneecap. Not the best we've seen, but it's pretty good. They could have done a little bit better work with the gaps, but it's still pretty good. Happy with that. And then the ankles, just like the tails and wrists and head, are on ball hinges. So it pegs into the shin and into the foot, swivels at either position, and has the hinge. So really, for being a tiny little figure as he has really as much articulation as you could possibly fit into a figure of this size. Or, you know what, it has as much articulation as you could fit into just about any size figure. So it's really impressive. It's a great looking figure, and I really do recommend it, guys. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more figure reviews, custom figures, and other good stuff. And in the meantime, keep collecting.